There are many different ways to fit a child seat. Instructions are printed on the side of the seat and also provided in the manual. Some are fitted with a seatbelt and have coloured guides to help you. Blue guides for rear-facing and red guides for forward-facing. ISOFIX seats often have a green indicator which will show on parts of the seat to tell you it's fitted correctly. Some seats even have an audible sound if they're not fitted correctly, but don't rely on this completely in case the batteries have run out. Correctly fitted child seats secured by a seatbelt will work just as well as ISOFIX in a crash. However, they can be tricky to fit, so always ask the retailer to demonstrate this for you. It may be tempting to alter a child seat if you think it makes it more secure or more comfortable for your child. However, it hasn't been crash tested with your adaptations, so there's no guarantee it will work in a crash. This includes using head restraints to hold a child seat in place. Children with special needs may also benefit from the use of buckle guards and chest locks, which help to ensure the regular fixings remain securely fastened. The safest place for children 12 and under is in the rear seats. If a child must sit in the front, the seat should be moved as far back from the dashboard as possible, and the child should be restrained by the appropriate child seat for their size and weight. A harness must be used on younger children because a vehicle seatbelt won't give their body full protection. It's vital the harness is fitted correctly. To do this, make sure the harness is coming out of the seat at the correct position for your child and adjust it as they grow. For rear-facing seats, the harness should be on the shoulder or just below it. For forward-facing seats, the harness should be on the shoulder or just above it. Pull the harness nice and tight to stop your child being able to wiggle their arms out and undo the buckle. The best way to check it's tight enough is to do the pinch test. This means you shouldn't be able to pinch the harness together. What your child is wearing can affect how much tighter the harness needs to be. The rule is it needs to be as close to the skin as possible to give them maximum protection, so no thick jumpers or winter coats. If you're using an infant carrier for your newborn, medical experts advise keeping the amount of time they're in a seat to a minimum, and certainly no longer than periods of 2 hours, especially in their first few months. If you're making long journeys, take regular breaks and take the baby out of the seat. Keeping your little one rearward facing for as long as possible helps protect their very weak head, neck and spine, so it's best to keep them in this position as long as possible. Just because their feet are sticking out the end of their child seat doesn't mean they've outgrown it. To be fully protected, their head must be completely protected inside the seat. Certainly don't think about turning them round until they're at least 15 months old or 13 kilograms. ERF stands for Extended Rear Facing and gives you the option to keep your child rearward facing beyond 15 months. Most of these seats will take children to 25 kilograms, which is around 7 years of age. In frontal impacts, this is the best way to keep the head, neck and spine fully aligned, reducing the risk of neck and spinal injuries. Once they go into a forward-facing seat, make sure the head support is still used, but don't let their eye line come above it. If it does, you'll need to adjust the height, or if you can't, you'll need to look at a new seat. High-backed seats and booster cushions only start to use the adult seatbelt to hold your child in when they reach the maximum weight of their harnessed or shielded seat. They also need to be mature enough not to undo the buckle. Teach your child to properly wear their seatbelt on every journey. The seatbelt should have the lap belt across the top of the thighs, and the diagonal belt must always be worn across the chest and not behind them. It could be a lifesaver. Always use a booster seat with a full back. This will help protect their upper body, neck, spine and head, unlike in a booster cushion. This is especially true if you're involved in a side impact collision. Encourage older children to always fasten in their booster seats when they leave the car. This way, all the remaining passengers are safer. Remember that in a crash at 30 miles an hour, everything in the vehicle will weigh 30 times its actual weight, so a loose booster seat could do a lot of damage to someone. When your child is 135 centimetres tall, the law says they can travel without using a child seat. However, these seats are designed to last a child until they're 150 centimetres, so it's much safer for them to continue using it. Their seatbelt must sit on their shoulder and not across their face and neck. If you need to fit 3 seats in the rear, make sure you can slide your hand between each one and the doors. If you can't do this, use the front passenger seat for the oldest child.